Alright, so last night I had everything wired up going to the Raspberry Pi, and I was running a program that was checking all the sensors in the box. And the box is, I could do one at a time or I could do all three at a time and check all the sensors. We checked and made sure that the emitters were on, sticking a cell phone with the camera in there and you could see everything lit up. We checked every sensor one at a time before we installed them, and they worked. But once I had everything wired up, this was the old way, where I just had 4 single wires wired to that, and I would route it here. There was a power wire, the 5-volt power wire, plus and minus the blue guys. And then I had everything nice and tied up, and it ran over here, and it was all organized and labeled. But once we started running the software, we noticed that a lot of the sensors were like intermittent, and they were saying that it was open and closed, or blocked and unblocked and blocked and unblocked, even just sitting here. And we could walk around the box and it would change. And then we noticed that anytime we would touch, like here where a couple signals were going together, it would rapidly change. All of them started changing. So we knew that there was some sort of noise problem getting into our signal lines. And there's 4 sensors, emitter detectors per box. So I had them all organized and wired up there, and that was a problem. So there's a couple things I'm going to try. One is I'm changing the wire to twisted shielded quad with a ground on the shield that I will tie into the 5-volt return, and we're probably going to end up having to do the same thing when it gets down to the Pi by the mux. So also, I think the Raspberry Pi was getting worked pretty hard, because it was like I had like 5 volts and then like 4.9, and then by the time I got here I had about 4.7, 4.6. It would kind of fluctuate. And so instead of using the Pi to drive all the sensors, next thing is we're going to try and wire up the 12 volt / 5 volt power supply for the system, and see if we can get good clean 5 volts with the right amperage to power all these sensors. That'll be the task tonight.